Today we're diving into the Colossal Wyrm course, aka the Varlamore Agility course. Not for the EXP, but for that fresh new Graceful style. Well, it's new relatively speaking. With all the skilling we've been doing lately, this fits right in. Being maxed, we'll be able to do clean laps and progress towards a solid reward at the end, with some collection logs being filled. All this skilling has been a nice change of pace, so let's continue with it. The agility course is located in the southern area of the Varlamore region. There is a Quetzal location posted just outside the course, but we don't have that set up yet. And there is a Colossal Wyrm teleport scroll, but I don't have that either because I believe you can only get them from doing the agility course itself, which we haven't been to yet. So the third option is the Fairy Ring AJP, which is where we're standing next to at the moment. And we're just going to have to make the run south. When you first make it to the agility course, the first thing you're going to want to do is talk to Wyrm, which we already did. I just kind of had to re-record, so exposing myself here. But after you talk to him, you'll be able to do the course and also look at the shop here. Wyrm's wares. So you can get amylase packs just like doing rooftop courses with Marks of Grace and turning them into Grace in the Rogue's Den. I heard that doing amylase packs here is actually not worth it. I could be mistaken. But yeah, it's something we already have quite clearly because we had the full recolored Graceful already. So that's not what we're here for. What we are here for is the Graceful recolor right here, which is going to cost 650 termites. I'll get into that later. Colossal Wyrm teleports, I already mentioned. You have to do the agility course first. It costs 40 termites. And then there's the calcified acorn, which is, I suppose it's a pet transmog or recolor. Unfortunately for us though, we don't actually have the giant squirrel pet. Maybe if we're lucky enough, we'll get the pet while grinding for this Graceful recolor. So obviously looking at the shop here, it has its own unique currency, that being the termites. So when we do laps around here, we're going to start getting termites instead of Marks of Grace. So let's get started on running some laps here. Another interesting thing about this course is there's actually two pathways. There's the normal pathway and then there's a more advanced pathway. Obviously being 99 agility, we're going to be going for the advanced path. We're coming right up on it right now after we hop over these platforms. I believe we're going to be climbing up the ladder. And this is going to be the advanced section. I could be mistaken. But if we're going to be doing the advanced course, we should expect about 50 to 60 laps per hour. We're going to want 650 termites specifically for a recolor, but if we are looking to green log, we're going to need a total of 19 termites. Based on the numbers in the wiki, that means we're going to need around 408 laps completed, as we will be averaging about 3.9 termites per lap. So it's not going to be an incredibly long grind in RuneScape terms, but it is going to take a good chunk of time. There we go, one lap completed, and it actually broadcasts time. So 119 was not the quickest by any means. I was too busy figuring out the numbers and talking. So we'll get a new PB easily. Okay, it didn't take long, but we got ourselves 13 termites and we got 24 blessed bone shards too. I actually did not know about that. I haven't really done too much research or digging into this course, so I guess we'll be learning new things as we go. And speaking about the new PB, we just finished that lap 1 minute flat. So only a few laps in right now, but I'm already really appreciating this course, especially the advanced section of it. There's actually a lot of downtime, so we're going to click on this tightrope right here, and for a good few seconds here, we won't have to click on anything. We make it to this platform, but this is all automated. One click, and this is, I don't know, we're going to have to time it, but this is over 10 seconds, it feels like, of not having to click. Which is a lot when you think about all the rooftop agility courses and how often you have to click. Alright, well, I'm going to try to get settled in here and get into a rhythm to doing the course. And before long, we will have racked up a ton of laps. What was the number we needed again? I think like 400, a little over 400 laps we need to get a full green log. that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, we're already 6 laps in, about to complete our 7th, actually. This might be a quicker grind than I thought. Okay, now that we are nice and comfortable at the Colossal Wyrm, on the other count here, the 50 defense, we are still chipping away at thieving like we have been for many episodes now. But you know, this is always just something we're doing in the background, not a primary focus. And Varlamore thieving is pretty slow, but it's consistent, which is the key thing here. It's consistent, laid back, and low intensity. So we are just a little over 200k EXP away from 92 thieving, 92 being the halfway mark, as we know. So we're quite a ways away from 99, which is the ultimate goal here. Unsure if I'm just going to hard camp the thieving activity until 99, or if we might break it up to do some other activities, who knows. But for right now, I'm pretty content with staying at Varlamore. 12 laps into the course and we beat our 1 minute PB already by 1 second. Maybe even less than a second, as it could just be a tick, I don't know. I don't have that feature turned on in terms of PBs. But yeah, there's obviously going to be a cap to it. Unsure if 59 seconds is that cap, but much of this course is out of your hands. You know, it's just an animation being played, for example, down that zip line. So we can only go so fast. And you know what? Maybe there's some RNG involved. When we're walking the tightrope, I don't know if it's like a guaranteed animation, not this tightrope, but the next one, the one coming up. Your character seems to, you know, teeter over and find its own balance. I wonder if that's a consistent thing, or maybe it's an element of RNG on that tightrope. The tightrope in question, I believe it's this one. Okay, you know, so far I feel like that happens every time. I could be wrong though. I mean, we're only 13 laps in. Back on the tightrope, is it going to happen? Okay, you know, I'm just going to say it'll happen every time. You know, I'm not about to pay close attention for all 400 laps that we're going to be doing, but I'll try to make note of it if that doesn't happen. But so far, 2 out of 2, I'm going to go ahead and say that that animation plays out every single time. The lap before, we did just tie the 59 seconds, so that just might be the fastest possible time. While we're working on the laps here, racking up the termites, in which we're actually just 1 termite drop away from 100, I'm going to ramble on about, you know, our account goals, I suppose. We've been maxed for quite some time now, and we more or less have max gear. All the essentials anyways, when you think of the 3 mega rare items, the armor. We are missing a few things. In fact, it's quicker to list off the things we're missing than to list the things that we do have. So we're missing the corpse shields, although we do have the arcane already. So we need the Ellie and the spectral, which honestly, they're not too useful, but you know, at this point, at this stage of the account, not many things we're after are necessarily going to be actually useful. Now, I guess more recently, in the last few months, last few episodes, one of the big grinds we were going for was the Void Waker, but unfortunately we've just been very unlucky on that. We're nearly 4 times dry on the Void Waker blade at Calvarion. We even tried our hand at some Vedion, but unfortunately no luck. And yeah, we're still 0 out of 3 on the Void Waker pieces. At this point in time, I just haven't been in the mood to go back in the wilderness to continue that grind. Not only because we are dry on it, but just, you know, the wilderness, there's a lot of factors that go into it. PKers, bots, and whatnot. So yeah, in the recent few episodes, we've been putting that off. We've been working on other things. A lot of side goals, things maybe we should have done a long time ago. For example, we recently got the fishing barrel, which was very nice, and we started doing some easy caskets in hopes of getting a ham joint. But unfortunately, we did not get the ham joint in 200 easy caskets. I actually don't know what the drop rate on that is, so maybe it's not even fair to assume that we'd get a ham joint in 200 easy caskets. But the point is, we don't have one, and I was going to use that and the Void Waker for a Fasani's Nightmare grind. Now, I've already done about 420 precisely, I think, Fasani's Nightmare KC. We've gotten a few Inquisitor's pieces, or I should say we've gotten the top and we've gotten the mace, as well as 2 other items on the collection log, but we're still missing the full set, and some orbs, some staves. So yeah, and Fasani's is on the list of things to do, things that we're missing. So we don't necessarily need the ham joint or the Void Waker, but it certainly speed things up and be a nicer encounter if we did have those things. Also, relatively recently, we worked on getting the Noxious Halberd, in which we were actually 2x rate for. So item-wise, things have been pretty unfortunate for me lately. Although our pet luck is a completely different story, we've been getting a lot of pets. So we did eventually get the Noxious Halberd, and I was hoping to get the Void Waker as well. And those two items combined, I believe they're going to help me get to Grandmaster combat achievements. Something that I put off for the longest time because I'm not a huge fan of combat achievements personally. There are some that are really well thought out and made, but there's also some really troll ones that I'm not a huge fan of. Some people like the salamander ones. For example, off the top of my head, the first thing I can think of is to defeat Muspa with nothing but a salamander. I think there's some similar ones in God Wars as well. Stuff like that's like, you know, it's intended to be pretty troll and stuff. Some people like them, but like I said, I personally do not. And then there's also the speed run times, which speed runs can be fun, especially raid ones and just like Inferno. That's going to be fun. Actually, I already got the Inferno one. But yeah, the ones that remain are just short RNG ones. You know, maybe like a whole bunch of bolt resetting. Not a huge fan of those. So in general, while I do like some combat achievements, I'm not really going to be enjoying parts of the grind, no matter how we approach it. We're going to have to do some combat achievements that we're not a big fan of. So with that being said, not only was I not entirely looking forward to the Grandmaster combat achievement grinds, even though that is something I want to achieve someday, I couldn't even start the grind because there was a few things I needed to get, that being the Void Waker and the Noxious Halberd, and you know, I already told you the Void Waker story, so that's quite unfortunate right there. Now, is it possible to get Grandmaster without a Void Waker? Absolutely, but I don't know, I just feel like being dry on items, on all our item grinds recently, it's kind of burning me out of the game. So I'm trying to find things to do, things I genuinely want to do, and for whatever reason right now, I really want this Graceful recolor, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But when it comes to other account goals outside of the Grandmaster achievement, honestly, I'm not too sure. I don't know if I'm ever going to become a pet hunter or a collection logger. And when you make it to the end game like I have been, and you don't do either of those things, what is there really left to do? I suppose I can just start raiding out of my mind and go for all the 2K capes. But once I'm done with that, I don't know. I guess I'm just sitting around waiting for new content to be released. This train of thought isn't exactly new. I've had this thought for many, many months now. And that's actually the entire reason I made 416 Hero, the 50 defense account that is in the same GIM group. So not only did I make a new account, but I also had some self-imposed restrictions with it, that being 50 defense, 63 prayer, and 82 attack, keeping the combat stats as low as possible. And I set out to achieve the Inferno Cape and the Dazana's Quiver. And if you've been following along the series, you know that I've gotten those things done. And honestly, after the fact, I haven't really done too much on the account. I took a hiatus from the account pretty much immediately after that. Took a break from it, and then only recently have I come back to log in on it, and even then, I'm just kind of skilling on it. I've been thieving very slowly but surely. So my initial problem has kind of twofolded. Not only do I not know what I want to do on the maxed account, I also don't know what I want to do on the 50 defense account. I don't know if there's anything left for it. There are clear and obvious goals on that account, but that's just repeating things, right? You know, going for the quest cape, getting 99 skills. And I have to ask myself, do I really want to do that? I'm not too sure. I haven't figured it out yet. While playing two accounts that are in the same GIM group at the same time can offer some interesting dynamics. For example, we've done Dolo Royal Titans. It also creates some redundancies. For example, I feel less inclined to level up construction and build out my player-owned house on the 50 defense count when I already have everything I need set up on, wait for it, the maxed account. I guess this little ramble is kind of pulling the curtains back, a little behind the scenes on the series, on what I'm thinking, the videos I've been pushing out recently, and what my future plans might be, which, all this to say, I guess I really don't know. We're figuring things out as we go. And you know what? Maybe by the time this video comes out, we will have a clear plan. Maybe sailing is already out. I don't know, but at the time of this recording, it's not out. Well, end of ramble, and we just reached 200 total termites. 42 laps into the course right now. Just mindlessly doing the course right now, and I accidentally did the basic route. Well, we got a new PB by default because that was the first lap we did. Just got 13 more termites, and that puts us over 400 total in the inventory so far. We need 650 in total to get the full Graceful recolor, so we're getting up there. We're getting closer and closer. Oops, just did the wrong course again. Did the basic one, got a new PB. Both grinds are coming up on a milestone. Here on Wait For It, we are just 38 termites away until we have enough for the Graceful recolor. Over on 416 Hero, we have just under 15k EXP to go until we hit level 92 Thieving. What is going to come first? The race between 92 Thieving or 14 more termite is actually incredibly close now. I feel like we can get the termite drop any second now. Meanwhile, we are just 1.6k Thieving EXP away. Oh, we got exactly 14 termites right as I said that. So just narrowly beating out the level 92. 650 termites after this lap. Let's go get our Graceful recolor. Finishing up the lap as we speak right now, but in the meantime, couple more valuables stolen and we will have reached 92 Thieving. Should be plenty of time. We won't be booted out of this house. One more. There we go, 92 Thieving. That doesn't exactly unlock anything for us, but that is the 50% halfway there milestone. 7 more levels to go till we're 99 Thieving. We just finished the lap as well, so let's talk to Wyrm Tongue right here and get the Graceful recolor. 650, there we go. I guess let's de-equip our Graceful. Oh no. Well, this is not good. I think our Graceful is colored, so we can't actually use them. Interesting. Okay, I just realized why it wouldn't let me recolor, and that's because I have the max cape on. Clanmate pointed out that maybe I had a piece banked, but I've been so accustomed to using the max cape instead of the actual Graceful cape or even the agility cape, that didn't occur to me. Alright, we are here at Rogue's Den Bank, and in the bank is my missing Graceful cape. But you know what? I'm actually going to put that away, and I'm going to take out a whole bunch of marks of grace, and I'm going to spend my marks on a whole new set of Graceful. That way we have 2 different Graceful outfits, and we can switch between them whenever we want, and they are POH storable. I did just spend a whole bunch of marks on that, but not to worry, I still have another 1930 marks of grace, as well as a ton of stamina pots. My journey to 99 agility included only rooftop courses. That's why I have so many marks of grace. And, I burned up a bunch of stamina pots. I've done over 1,000 solo chambers raids. So I've used plenty of staminas, and yet I still have more than I'll ever need. So not an issue by any means. Let's go back to the Colossal Wyrm agility course and let's get our new Graceful outfit though. Alright, back at the agility course, we got the full Graceful set, cape included. We also have the 650 termites. Let's talk to Wyrm Tongue again. And surely this time we can get it right there. We go one-click teleport. A one-click teleport? One click and we got the full outfit. You know, I gotta say though, this cape looks very close to the default cape. But everything else, I like the fit. Huge fan of this. This has been something I've always wanted, but I mean, couldn't really convince myself to go do more agility post 99. But I mean, here I am today. Clanmate got a little confused there, thought I never owned Graceful, but yeah, I guess in the chat box, the collection log pop up, it's not very specific. It just says Graceful, gloves, boots, as if you were getting the regular old Graceful. Well, at this point, I suppose I will stay for another 900 termites for the calcified acorn and another 40 termites for the teleport scroll. Alright, it's been a long time since I did a birdhouse run on this account. I've been doing at least one birdhouse run a day on the maxed account, but really I should put forth that effort onto this account instead. We're currently, well, there's a genie. We're currently 82 hunter, and we're actually gonna get 83, not on this birdhouse run, but the next. 40 termites in the inventory. That means we can pick up another collection log real quick. A teleport scroll. Thank you very much. Back to running the laps. So we're going to continue to run laps here, but I just realized, you know, the acorn's not exactly a top priority right now, as we don't even have the agility pet. But hey, who knows? Along the way, we could snag the pet right before we get enough termites for the acorn. That would be a storybook ending. We'll see if that happens. I'm going to stay here as long as I want, but I don't know. Depending on how we feel, we might call it early as well. I don't really feel pressured. I already came here to do what I want and did it, I should say. So no biggie whether we get it or not, but as of right now, I feel pretty motivated to do it. So when we first started the grind here at the Colossal Wyrm, we looked it up and it said we needed about 408 laps to complete to fully greenlog Colossal Wyrm. We're now just over 200 laps, and I think we are pacing to be on track for that. Now, whether we're going to stay here and finish this out is another story, but you know what? So far, so good. We're just listening to some tunes right now, working on Varlamore Thieving as well in the background. And obviously, this is very low intensity and chill, so yeah, I think we'll be able to get it done. Still running our laps, probably another 180 or so to go until we're done and greenlogged with that. In the meantime, let's do another birdhouse run here on 416 Hero. I said I would try and do my best to stay on top of these. I didn't exactly do the second birdhouse run on cooldown, but hey, this trip, we're going to get to 83 hunter. Our Frog's Reel just got a giant champion scroll. I wonder what from. Anyways, as I'm running to this fourth birdhouse, I did say we were going to get a level on this run, but I'm looking at the EXP and I completely just lied to you guys. One more birdhouse run after this, and then we're going to get 83 hunter. Oops. Brand new day now, and it is birdhouse o'clock. No debates this time. This final birdhouse in this run is going to get us to 83 hunter. We can now catch dragon implings, although I think we're going to need a net for that. Not that I plan on catching implings anytime soon. Alright, back to Varlamore. And of course, we're still running our laps at the Colossal Wyrm. We're just under 300 termites in the inventory right now. The magic number right now is 900 termites so that we can get the calcified acorn for the pet recolor or transmog. Which, by the way, we don't have the pet, you know. I think I said that already, but really hammer it home. Why am I doing this right now? I don't know. I don't even have the pet. Maybe we'll get it. Checking in at a little over 450 termites now, meaning we're over halfway there until we're out of here. Less than 100 termites to go now, but there is a system update happening in 20 minutes. Although, according to what they're saying, there should be no downtime. Looks like we will not be beating the system update. We got 15 termite remaining, but there's only 40 seconds left until we have to restart the client. What a tease. We just got 13 termites, so we're 2 short from 900. Well, I guess we have to go for at least another 3 or 4 laps. 8 termites picked up. We have now completed the Colossal Wyrm. As soon as we're done with this lap, I'm going to go claim our final collection log slot for the Colossal Wyrm, therefore green logging it. We're going to get the pet transmog, the calcified acorn, but you know what? On this journey, we didn't end up getting the pet, so we can't even make use of the transmog. It will just sit pretty in the bank for now, and maybe one day we'll get the agility pet. Alright, we ended up doing 384 laps, and considering the wiki said it takes an average of 408 laps to complete the Colossal Wyrm, I'd say we got pretty lucky on this. Let's access the shop with the worm tongue and calcified acorn, 900 termites. There we go. There's the collection log. 664 slots completed now, and let's open up the collection log ourselves. Maybe it falls under other, perhaps. Yep, there we go. Colossal Wyrm agility is green logged. Well, before we wrap things up, checking in to 416 Hero, of course, we've been doing Varlamore thieving in the background all this time, and we've made good progress. We're halfway to 93 thieving, just 330k EXP to go. Going back to the little ramble we had earlier, I guess with this grind being done, we are once again on the search to figure out what we want to do next.